runs until September? Oh yeah, I've got plenty of time then. By the way, so these are all for like the exosuits. Can you ever find upgrade bays for your ship where you can like upgrade, add stuff to your ship? Or is it just if you want a ship with more mod space, you go buy a different ship? Is that how that works? Okay. Download the coordinates. Okay, this is going to lead me to another one. However, I need to check how much fuel I have. Doing okay on hyperdrive fuel. I mean, I probably am good for... What's it taking per jump? Like 20%? It's got to be, because I was at 80% and I've done 2 warps. So I think it's taking 20% per warp with this particular ship. Demon Slayer says, I know he's a super polite guy. Not really, but okay. I'm most of the time I try to behave. So what's your preference? Starfield or No Man's Sky if I had to play one? I don't have enough information to make that judgment call right now, because if I had to make the call as of right now, I would still pick Starfield. Because I prefer thematic, cinematic storytelling above open world exploration every day of the week. Every game I play, I'm always on the hunt for the story, and that's because as someone who has 20 million words in print, I love story. I need cinematic storytelling. I need, like, my preference is always going to be for the things that give me that cinematic narrative, the romances with party members who come with me and have storylines. The RPG, yeah, I'm an RPG player first and foremost. I gotta have story. If this game had those elements, I would feel a lot more strongly about this game. What I do love about this game right now is like it has a very interesting art aesthetic, which I really like, and I am getting great enjoyment out of the base building right now. Like, this is probably the best base building game that I've played ever, honestly. Like, I like Minecraft with my brother and my nephew. That's a lot of fun. I really like Enshrouded, but Enshrouded has a long way to go. Valheim's good, but Valheim has a long way to go. Starfield has some great base building aspects to it, but they still have a long way to go. They just launched. They need, this game's had 8 years to iterate. Starfield's been out for 1 year. So in terms of base building, this is definitely, I feel like it's probably the best base building game I've played in the last, 3 years for sure. And I'm having a lot of fun with that at the moment, but for me, it's always going to be RPG storytelling. That's always going to take precedence. Sorry, that's always going to be my preference. Yeah, I do love the NASA punk art style of Starfield more than this game. So if someone were to ask me, in a perfect world, would you prefer No Man's Sky? What would you prefer? Like the blending, if you were to blend Starfield and No Man's Sky together, would that be your perfect RPG? I mean, it would be a very interesting RPG. I would prefer like some of the cool open world mechanics that they do from No Man's Sky with some of the storytelling aspects, and I definitely prefer the art style of Starfield more. The gunplay's better, the space combat's better in Starfield than it is here. But this game, from what I've seen so far, the base building is a lot easier to get into. Starfield does good base building, but it's really intensive. Like all the research you have to do to get, and all the skills that you have to get to be able to unlock the research necessary to build outposts, like in the engineering tree, which requires you to go out and level up. And like Starfield's you got to put a few hundred hours into that game if you're going to get the most out of it. It's probably the same here. I shouldn't say it's definitely the same here, but this game definitely lacks that cinematic storytelling element. There is story here, but there's no voiceovers, there's no romancing of companions. I don't have like a companion to the story. It's just generic little guys like Navigator Uraj, who's like, Go hire this new dude, and we will together make a new thing. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I could tell you that for a fact, Demon Slayer. The inventory management here. So one of the things I haven't said this out loud yet, but I've been nitpicking it in my mind every single time I have to do it. If I go over here and click the portal, this is a perfect example of something that gets tedious over time. So I click the portal. I'm now given a list of places that I can teleport to. Now, in my mind, if I was the developer behind this, I would then say all you need to do to go to your next location is to pick one of these things, hover over it, and then hold the button to like transfer there, or click it and it takes you there. Click and it says, do you want to go here? Go there. Or in this case, they want you to hold it down. But instead, they make you do this. They send you to an unnecessary third screen, which is this screen, where you then have to move your icon down to the warp to Renfail's first base, and then hold down here. That is an unnecessary step that could be removed in a quality of life update. That is a nitpick from me, because this adds to the tedium, because I've been told now that every time I use this warp thing, I have to go through this additional step that I wish I didn't have to do. The other one too is like if I go to obviously there's this quick menu down here where I can go quickly like recharge things, right? I can go up, click something, recharge it, and then it gives me a menu of things where if I have the resources I can do it. It's way more tedious to do it from the inventory, because first you have to go to the inventory and like let's say I pick this right here. First I have to click this, then I go down to click this. Now, in my mind, the way this would work would be like, first I click this, it tells me the fuel. Oh, I have the fuel. Click the fuel, immediately it installs the fuel. That's how I would do it. But instead, they make me have an extra step where I have to click the fuel, and now I have to move the fuel on top of the thing that I just clicked to tell me what fuel I needed. So that to me is an unnecessary series of steps, which adds to the tedium of inventory management. So these are some little things that I would change were I the person designing this game. And so reading articles that say that the inventory management can be tedious, that is absolutely legitimate criticism. And that's one thing that I would change for sure. Alright, off to the next warp destination. Yeah, Brett, the story is very impersonal, buried, and requires lots of lore digging to figure out. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not an RPG style storyline. It's definitely not. It's a completely different style. We're going back. I've definitely already been to that place, I feel like. Frontiera? Hang on, let me go to the space station here. I feel like I've already been there. Actually, where's my base? Well, whatever, just to satisfy my own curiosity, let's... Frontiera. Pragmat says, I actually use the information of the base screen sometimes, but I'd agree that you should be able to warp directly with another button. Yeah, there's little things. They're just quality of life things that I would change if I could. Frontiera is what it said. Wall Q, give me a second, and I'll answer your question about Lord of the Rings Online. Just give me a second here, because I can't do 3 things at once, otherwise my brain fries. Because I could swear I've already been to Frontiera, and I don't want to waste a warp cell. I don't know how to tell if I've already been to a station. Oh, I have not been there yet. No, I have. Frontier, right here. Alright, your question is, just started Lord of the Rings Online, and your content is a big help with the Guardian. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Those videos are a little older, but still should be relevant. Can I ask what armor set you're wearing on him? I don't know which Guardian you're looking at, because I have a Dwarven Guardian, I have a Human Guardian. I think and without logging in, I wouldn't know, but I would say that more than likely it's the set of Dwarven. Man, there's a guy in the Lowlands. There's a dwarf you can find in the Lowlands outside of shit. Now you're making me think. I can't remember the name of the town. Hang on, I'm racking my brain trying to remember it, because you start off in the Lowlands, you go to the Forgotten, you go to the inn. Yeah, it's the Human Guardian. It's like an orange or brown set with like scales across the chest or something, with like squarish looking shoulder pads. Is that the one you're thinking of? Oscaroth, yes. That's the town I'm thinking of. So I know that many of the starter characters that I have, there is a dwarf NPC out from Oscaroth, like southwest. He's standing by a rock formation which leads to an underground little area we can go quest and kill some orcs and stuff inside. He's a little dwarf NPC, and I can't remember his name, but he's like southwest of Oscaroth, out in the middle of the nowhere by the road, like sort of you can see the road from where he's standing. And he goes down into an underground area. That guy sells some dwarven cosmetic gear that you can buy, and he's got like multiple different sets of it. And I'm pretty sure if that's the set I'm thinking of, I almost always go buy that set for my plate wearing characters, because it's a really cool looking set. Oh shit! I'm guessing this is on the other side of the anomaly. Yep. And I can't remember the name. Like, it's been forever ago since I've Almost Bird says it's a good area to farm scholar materials. It is. There's an orc encampment like up on a hill above there, but he's down by the road, and there's like it's a little cave entrance that you can get into. And you go underground, and there's like some sewage stuff in there, and there's some quests in there to kill orcs and goblins and stuff. You could probably buy that same, I don't know, but I would assume that you could probably buy the same stuff back in Thorin's Hall, maybe. But that's where I usually get my first set of cosmetic gears, as soon as I'm like level 15 or whatever, and I can get to that guy. It's one of the dwarven sets, because I love like the square shoulder pads, and it's got like scale mail looking breastplate, which I think is really cool. But also I've got that's one of the games I've played for the longest amount of time. So I have max level crafters for everything. So I'm hoping that's the armor set you're talking about, because if it's one of the crafted armor sets, I have no fucking clue. I would literally have to log in to see what he's wearing, because it's been a year and a half since I've logged in and played Lord of the Rings Online. All right, I'm looking for some sort of a structure. Man, I don't see anything man-made. I'm gonna have to get down and do the scan dance, probably. Oh, no, is there something over here? No, that's like a cave.